resistance. Homes that consistent. General order for resistance. HOLC assistant. Robin's airport resistant. Chain resistant. Black Wall Street resistant. DR New Deal assistant. Granddad off executive order resistant. General order for resistance. HOLC Robin's airport resistance. Black Wall Street resistance. DR assistant. Stand off executive order resistance. Early Zeddy Revolves in experience having early Zeddy hardy. Screaming where aspirants at early 1900s. That when niggas ruled all early 1900s. We were black and beautiful. Revolves in experience having early Zeddy hardy. Screaming where aspirations early 1900s. That when niggas ruled all early 1900s. We were black and beautiful. Homes that consistent. General order for resistance. HOLC assistant. Robin's airport resistant. Assistant. Black Wall Street resistant. FBA New Deal assistant. Randolph executive order resistant. Early Sadie Argent, relax for respiration. Early Sadie Argent, dreaming with respiration. Early 1900s, early 1900s, we were black and beautiful. Relax for respiration. Early Sadie Argent, dreaming with respiration. Early 1900s, every nigga rooster. Early 1900s, we were black and beautiful. Homes that are consistent. General order for resistance. HOLC assistant. Robin's airport resistant. Legacies transit. Black Wall Street resistant. ADR new computer resistant. Philip Randolph executive order resistant.
Resistance, baby. FBAs always gave resistance, and those white supremacists always got assistance. Assistance versus resistance. All right, so I wanted to bring you guys back to this tether, the tether conversation from mid-afternoon, if y'all don't mind.
Welcome to another edition of the Culture Show. This is your host Kulu here with my co-host Shay. Shay, what's going on? What's going on, sister?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Good to be back for another week. We got a lot of things going on in the world, and we got to get to this topic that's been.
I'm gonna research in the background because I wonder if they ever said where they were from. I'm not sure, but I know he's a tether. I think she is too.
Real touchy over the last few months, even 6-7 months since this Clubhouse app then came out about diaspora wars. But before we get into that, why don't you tell us what's going on in the world right now?
All right, so we have a couple pieces of breaking news right now. In New York, recreational marijuana has been made legal.
Man, if y'all don't get to the
This
diaspora wars,
in New Jersey
Was had the flood, the earthquakes in Haiti.
just came off of the, so it came at a really bad time.
Now, Shay, to our main topic of discussion here.
and by the way, this channel did flop. Okay, this channel flopped, trying to leech off FBA name. It flopped. This video flopped. This video had a total of 9 likes. All right.
We've had these conversations with myself and you on and on about the diaspora wars and how idiotic it is to the unification of the diaspora around the world. How we talked about the Sha'Carri Richardson thing last week. And we also noticed when it was happening on Clubhouse in the beginning, early stages of Clubhouse, where you had these people from the African continent. You had people from the Americas, you had people from Jamaica, the islands, all voicing their opinion on their distaste with unifying with other Blacks around the world. What is your thoughts on why this is happening within the diaspora, where an app like Clubhouse, where people can come together and actually get to know each other, actually get to build? We were finding that it was a lot more us versus you, African Americans versus Africans, or Nigerians versus African Americans, or
Now, I noticed that they make it a concerted effort to only call us African Americans.
now it's Jamaicans versus African Americans. What do you think this is all stemming from?
Well, the ideology behind separatism stems back from, slavery, where you don't want unification.
Did she say separatism? When was that? They just making shit up now. Separatism was a thing back amongst us back in these times.
Because unification leads to the demolition of slavery, right?
Right.
So if you're going to pit someone against each other, you need to create that.
Yeah, what's up with you guys saying pit us amongst? Is that a new word? I thought it was P-U-T, but I'm seeing people say pit a lot. I don't know, maybe that's a Southern thing.
That narrative where no one can see themselves in other people who are similar, right? So, for example, I've been told a few times where African born people have come here, and in the immigration process, they're told not to get mixed up with the African Americans here.
That's cat. You got to make your mind up, because some of you say that, then others say it's the videos and the movies and the music. You got to make your mind up which lie you're gonna go with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have the African Americans here where they're like, well, I'm not African, I'm American. And, they don't want to be associated with that, because to some extent, it
has nothing to do with don't want to be associated with. It has everything to do with what we actually are. And we're not African. We're foundational Black Americans. That's what we are. It's not about not wanting to associate with something. We're just not you, and you're not us.
kind of been ingrained in our mind as shame, like out of this entire planet and all the different races, we were the only ones that really got the brunt of the stick. And even in Africa, with the apartheid lasting into the late 80s, that was only 30 some odd years ago.
Right.
So just the shame, I really think that it has to do with the shame and the ingraining in the mind passed down through generations that, oh, you're not African, you're African American. That's separate.
We're not either. We're Black American, and don't forget the foundational.
That form of separation has just been a norm.
Yeah. I think, we spoke about this before, how the part the media plays into this, right? Mm-hmm. If you're on the African continent now, what are you being fed about African Americans? You're being fed slavery. You're being...
No. They're not being fed slavery. They deny slavery, certain parts of slavery. They deny their role in slavery. They don't believe they sold us. They don't believe they stole us. So they're not being fed slavery.
Fed hip hop. You're being fed.
No, they're not being fed hip hop because, for one, they all cosplay the rappers. So so they don't see rappers as something negative. Okay, we've seen the videos. They look just like the rappers, so they don't see rappers as somebody dangerous and they don't want to be around. They emulate the rappers in those third world countries. So keep going, keep lying.
The Cardi B's of the world. You're
Cardi B is Latina.
being fed street life, gangsters, thugs.
Listen, there's more criminals in third world countries than all of black society in America. He's reaching for excuses to hate us and be jealous and envious of us, and it's not making sense.
This is what you're being fed about African Americans, right? For those
Nobody's feeding them anything. That's what they want to believe. Okay.
on the African continent due to the media.
Right.
And then
The media? Okay. The media, right? So who fed her this?
African Americans prioritize blackness isn't necessarily the same way in which an immigrant would prioritize their blackness. So, you know how African Americans will say, oh, black writer, black creator, black artist, black lawyer, black doctor, black woman in STEM. No, when we come to this country, it's immigrant or nationality, maybe our careers next. And
So is this reality or this media teaching them this? Stop with the bullshit excuses.
then whatever else comes after that. So immigrant, Jamaican, marketer, whatever else comes after that. The issue that you're having is we don't see ourselves as one of you.
Okay, so that's not media. That's not media. That's what they truly believe and what they truly want to believe. So you can. Oh, I didn't mean to close out the
Commentary. Yeah, we just.
All right, I didn't mean to close out that tab. Let me get it back. But let me get the video back. Yeah, but we're not gonna let them make up excuses and justify why they hate us and blame the white man. Like, how do you blame the white man why you hate us? All right, let me find that video. Their thing was called IMB. Wait a minute. Why is not in my? Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Shit. Okay, cool. Yeah. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Give me 1 second. You just pull them back up. African Americans. There we go. I want the whole video. Okay, I got it.
months since this Clubhouse app then came out about diaspora
That is of the
wars around the world. How we talked about the Sha'Carri Richardson thing last week. In the net, all voicing their opinion on actually get to know each other, or Nigerians versus
so if they are similar process, there is here where it's planted, but even in Africa,
right,
passed down through
about African Americans. You're being fed slavery. You're being fed hip hop. You're being fed the Cardi B's of the world. You're being fed street life, gangsters, thugs. This is what you're being fed about African Americans, right?
Nope. Not being fed that. They want to believe that.
For those on the African continent due to the media.
Right.
And then let's look at the
blame. Okay, hate FBAs and then no accountability. Just blame the media, and that's the part we really resent and hate and have disdain for. They hate us, disrespect us, envy us, and then emulate us, cosplay us, and then blame the media. They like we got to stop this.
flip side of that. What are African Americans being fed by the media about Africa? The jungle.
No. Okay, anything we seen, it wasn't a movie, it wasn't a song, it was real Africa. Okay, real people, real bellies, real flies. Okay, real cow piss, real mud cakes, real bush meat. Okay, we didn't learn media tricks, rap lyrics, the shit you got made up. No music videos, no movies. We seen the real deal, baby.
National Geographic, tribal people.
Right. Tribal people. Those are real people.
Poverty. These
Wait, so poverty isn't rampant in Africa? Right. Missed that memo?
Disease.
Yeah. Bushmeat, HIV, all type of diseases come from Africa, right?
Famine. These are the things that.
Yeah, but those are real things, though. That was a false equivalence. He talked about things about us that's fake. Movies and rap lyrics is not a reality. But when it came to what we see of Africa, that's real.
We on this side of the world, on the Western side of the world, are being shown about the Africans on the African continent. So we're being fed two different things about each other.
Exactly.
And when we do.
No, we're not fed two different things. You guys see us for what we are and you're jealous, and we see you for what you are and we don't care. Like we keep to ourselves. We see Africa ain't doing well and we just keep it moving. Like that's it. There's no back and forth with us at all.
Get together in this melting pot we call the United States of America, we find that we're a lot more different than we are.
Right. That's another thing. How do you go back and forth with us in our homeland that we built and you couldn't get here without us? That's very disrespectful. But you guys don't want to see that, right?
Are similar. And some of that has got to do with the traditions that were taken away from African Americans that they no longer have due to that separation from the African continent, having to get used to their master's tongues, having to take on their master's names. Things like this kind of separated many of us from the.
Well, you sold us. None of that would be happening if you didn't sell us.
African continent. But I really feel like it's not to blame one another. I think at this point, we have to bridge that gap.
Hey, here they go. Bridge the gap. And that's why I said earlier, these guys sold us and there's no love lost when they come to America. Is you FBAs ain't shit. They believe the stereotypes, all hateful things about us. I mean, where is the love? That's why I did the video. Like, if you love us, where's it at? We don't see the love at all. There's no love lost. And it can't be any love. You sold us. Like once you sold us, there's no love. When a mom sell her baby, that ain't no love there at all. That love gone. Once you sell something, whatever love you have for it is gone. So, I mean, it's okay, man. Like we don't see no different than white supremacists. Like you're just darker.
Africans, we have to understand that our African American brothers and sisters, it ain't their fault why they have been disconnected from Africa.
It ain't our fault. This guy sound like mystical. Bro, just leave us alone. We're not African American. We're foundational Black American. Just leave us alone. You can't even call us the correct name. Bro, just don't worry about us. Just leave us alone. You guys go be great and whatever you think can make you great. But leave us alone, man. We don't want unity. We're unified amongst ourselves for right now, and to us, that's the best thing for us. So you go do the best thing for yourself. Just don't include us, man. Just go do you.
Africa. And on the flip side of that, African Americans, let's not look at the Africans who come into this country as people who are stealing opportunities from us, because I've heard that a lot too. We did hear that a lot of people saying that immigrants are taking all types of jobs from African Americans. What are your thoughts on that statement on that?
Okay, I want you to look at her facial expression when he say immigrants are stealing our jobs. She starts smirking and smiling. This filthy Tethers. Look at her facial expression right now.
A lot of people saying that immigrants are taking all types of jobs from African Americans. What are your thoughts on that?
Rolled her eyes and started smiling. Watch this
statement on that.
I really, really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants.
Now, family, when you could lie like that, when you could lie like that and say this country built on the back of immigrants, there's just nothing there. Listen, y'all go do you. Go back to your homeland, build that place up to a respectable homeland, and just go live your best life. We don't want anything to do with you. This country was built on the back of immigrants. So disrespectful. On top of that, calling us African Americans, which is an immigrant hyphen.
Right? Mm-hmm. The African people that were brought here were not native. They were immigrants, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the immigrants of all the other cultures and races that came over and contributed into the building up of the United States of America. So right. I really don't like the idea that they're coming over here and stealing jobs. A lot of the times, I found that the people who have come over here have really worked hard to get to where they are to be able to come over here because it's such an expensive move.
Yeah. So the expensive move is working hard. First of all, they're highly selected. Okay, they're the elitists of their country. Okay, that's one. 2 and 3, the other ones who are not highly selected, they come over here as asylees or refugees. So they're literally fleeing their country, and they got baggage. They're shit starters, and they're poor. So they're gonna need U.S. welfare and housing immediately, and they're gonna jump the line.
Yeah. And if you're coming from an impoverished area, and you're going to what they call primary school and secondary school and then university, that is not an easy accomplishment. So for them to be able to come over here and do that, and then to be able to send for their family to come over here and do that, I think that we should be supportive of that. Right. And if you feel like somebody is taking your job, well, look at, take a time to look at their backstory and see, well, you know what, maybe they deserved it.
Right.
Maybe they deserve to take your job. Are you serious?
Now, let me look at myself. How can I level up so I don't have to worry about my job, replacing me?
Well, what Shay, what it has to...
That made sense to you, Shay? Did that really make sense to you? Did you really think that out?
When it comes to immigration, though, it got a lot to do with what that country has to offer your country, right? Nigeria, you can talk about cocoa, you can talk about oil, you can talk about all different things that the country Nigeria can offer the United States. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran, all of those areas with those oil mines or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, family, let's get the likes up a little bit. We're 20 likes down, 53 people watching, 32 likes. Thank you. The night crew is usually good with the likes. It's the day crew who I got to get on over and over and over.
Those countries offer the United States something in exchange for the United States taking some of their people to the United States. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the difference on why many people are able to come to the United States, because their country is offering this oil or cocoa in exchange for some of their people to be able to come and represent them in the United States.
What about the ones that flee over here from refugees and asylees? What about them?
Mhm.
That's something that's not talked about or known. Immigrants are allowed to come to this country and flourish, so to speak, start businesses a lot easier than people who are actually lived, born, and raised here, who are Black African American. I would definitely say the opportunities are a lot harder for those who are African American born on.
Oh, so you have an advantage. Okay. We can't be happy about that advantage, can we?
On American soil.
Absolutely. We talk about systematic oppression all the time.
She said systematic oppression. See what happens when you try to play smart? It's called systemic oppression, not systematic oppression. But she's gonna walk back everything she said earlier about we just don't work hard enough and immigrants take our job because meritocracy, that Charlie Kirk stuff.
In terms of the African American born people, the fact that the systematic oppression has been something that we've been living with.
There's nothing. It's systemic oppression, not systematic oppression.
Since we were brought here, basically. So you go to a bank and let's say I want to sell my house, right? And let's say, for example, I live in a suburban area. My house in the area is probably worth $250,000, right? And that's just a general idea for where I am. Now, if I want to go to the bank and get my house appraised because I've made upgrades and alterations and I made it better, and the white person next to me is doing the same thing, it's been proven that the white person will actually get more money for the appraisal than the Black person. That was actually a study that was done not only in Florida, but it was actually done here in Rochester with a family in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but you just said that we didn't work hard enough. So now you're walking them back and saying, oh, so systemic oppression does affect us and hold us back and doesn't affect anybody else the same, including African immigrants. Got it.
Is that when you say that, is that a government issue or is that an immigrant issue? Is that an immigration issue? Because that sounds like it's a government issue.
Well, the government is using you clowns as pawns. Okay, the government is using you guys as pawns to undermine us, and you guys are willingly accepting that role, and then you're taking that role and doing more than what the government expected you to do. You start to embrace that role and go on your own and do your own tethering and undermining without the government even saying to do that. So yes, it starts off with the government, but then you guys buy into that role. It seems natural, it feels natural. You are the ones who stole us and sold us, so we don't expect much more from you.
It's a government issue, and it has absolutely nothing to do with immigration.
So, families, in other words, just blame media, blame the government, blame everybody. Africans get no blame. They sold us, right? But the white man made them sell us. They stole us. The white man made them steal us. Like, come on.
Immigrate, like you said, the immigrants that come here, yes, they are allowed to get things a little bit more easier than us. And to a certain extent, especially when it comes down to opening up a business, I would say they get it a lot more easier than us,
Oh, so they do take our jobs. So they do replace us by the will of white supremacy. Oh, okay. And you were saying something different earlier.
But at the same time, we have to also take a part of that blame because we don't raise the issues,
right,
and make it a problem,
right.
You know what I mean? You have a problem because you can't start a business. Well, what are you going to do? Just pitch a temper tantrum, or are you going to find out the legal process to raise this issue to make it better?
I think when for the immigration process to take place, you kind of have to have like this tunnel vision, right? You got to have like this vision of it's like do or die. Like I'm going to America to be able to make it to middle class and possibly high class. Whereas in certain countries in Africa, there is no middle class. It's either you're wealthy, born into a wealthy family, or you're poor. So they have this like tunnel vision to where they do everything they got to do. For everyone who knows, the immigration process is not an easy process. Yeah. So the people who actually get to this country, they go through a lot to get here.
Yeah, you just file paperwork. This shit easy as hell. Stop it.
And once they get here, they have a tunnel vision focus on success.
Okay, whatever your tunnel vision focus is, right. So stop trying to claim unity with us. Keep your tunnel vision focus. We'll keep our tunnel vision focus and keep it moving.
They've studied the system. They've studied what they got to do, and they link with people who can help them and assist them. And the immigration people assist them with starting businesses as well.
Oh, we know that. We know that.
If that's something that they want to do. Because at the end of the day, the government cares more about economics more than anything.
Right, absolutely. You know, at one point I heard...
Wait, hold on. I thought the government was bad. They just said the government was a bad person. You know, they said blame the government and blame the media. Now the government helps immigrants level up. These guys are all over the place.
Heard that certain immigrants from certain countries are actually given money to start business here.
Absolutely.
Like somewhere, I think it was between $50,000 to $75,000 that they're given to start a business here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certain grants that are given. There are certain grants.
Yeah, that was our money, family. I did a whole live on that where they had the minority money, and once the immigrants came into our neighborhoods, they reallocated the minority money to the immigration money and did that. So that 70 grand, you dumb babbler, that was for FBAs under a minority. But when immigrants came over and flooded our neighborhoods, immigration took those monies and allocated that money to immigrants. Okay.
Grants that immigrants get, and again, they study this stuff before they come here. And it's passed down. If you notice, a lot of the immigrants that come here, they're family members. Mm-hmm. So this is knowledge that has been known. This is what you have to do. This is how you have to do it. Boom, 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 boom. You go here, you take your brother in, you take your cousin in, you show them the ropes. Once they get there, you get this house, you sell that house. It just moves like that as a family.
Stop it.
Family. But in the diaspora, in the African American diaspora particularly, it's not like that. We're not passing down the things that
you're not. Why? And no, we are passing it down. We are. You guys just said it earlier. She said it wrong. She said systematic racism or oppression. You guys said it earlier. It's systemic oppression, systemic racism that's blocking. She just gave the example of the bank loan. So no, we are being blocked and stripped and discriminated against. You guys just said it.
That we know. We have the crab in a barrel mentality where one climb to the top and leave.
Okay, so now systemic. Hold on. So it's the crab in a barrel mentality. So, but you guys said earlier it was systemic racism. Family, they just said earlier it was systemic racism holding us back from being great. And now they're saying, oh, these Africans, they just great and they just help each other out. But FBAs, the crab in the barrel. Which is it? Is it FBA crab in the barrel or is it systemic oppression? Y'all can't seem to make your mind up. Just tether babbling.
Everybody else on the bottom. I think that's the difference. I think it's the mentality and it's also government.
Family, what about media? This almost sounds like conservative talk. Okay, because they really ain't say Pan-Africanism, so they might be conservatives. Let's see.
Definitely. The mentality that I've noticed with the African American people here is that when we do well, we don't usually have the tendency to go back and get everybody else.
Right.
Are you serious? Family, what is going on here?
You know, it's more like, well, I made it. Well, you're going to have to figure out how to do it on your own. And it shouldn't be like.
That's how you guys are on your homeland. When you guys leave Nigeria and come over here and get a job and make 50, 60 grand a year, you don't go back to Nigeria and give the blueprint. You know, you guys do that. You don't go back to Nigeria at all. Or Jamaica or any Kenya. You guys stay right here, and whatever money you get, you keep that away from the populace in your third world country homeland. That's what you guys do.
Like that to a certain extent, it should be like that. I'm not saying, hold that person's hand all the way, but if you have a connect or you have a person that you
so they're gonna educate us. We're the uncivilized, and they're gonna civilize us and tell us how we should do it.
Can put in contact with another person. Not only are you helping that middle person with their business, but you're helping the person who's trying to get set up on their feet.
Oh, we didn't know that.
If they don't take advantage of the resources that you give them, then that is not your fault.
Exactly.
That's their fault. At least you can say, well, I gave you the information.
Thank you for that.
You didn't do anything with it. That's on you.
So family, she taught us how to give back to our own. Thank you. We didn't know that. Crab in the barrel mentality. I'm sorry. We didn't know that.
Exactly. And it's an uphill battle for African Americans. It always has been.
Uphill battle for us. And the Tethers are fine. Their homelands are good. You dig? They got jobs. They got their own currency. 54 countries are aligned with each other. They got one government. Okay. Africa is doing fine. And the Foundation Black Americans is terrible.
So we know that this is going to continue. But as for Clubhouse, now me and you and a few other people from IVP Media, we witnessed this diaspora war beginning on Clubhouse, particularly.
Are you serious? And this is how dumb they are. They don't even know what set the diaspora war, the so-called diaspora war. It's been one-sided. And it's been disrespect from these Tethers since they first got here in the early 1900s. This has nothing to do with what's now happening in the 2000s. This goes back to the 1900s. I just did a video proving that. How they used to signal to white people how they're not one of us, not a Negro. They're Jamaican, Nigerian, Sudanese, Arab, Moor, something else. So they shouldn't be treated like us.
At first,
so example, they would use a thick accent, or they'll show paperwork that they're over here from another country. They'll show, and that will work. White racist people will cut them a break.
When I first got on there, you saw a lot of positivity from people being able to connect from the
Let me guess, they're gonna blame us.
African continent to African Americans. Like, finally, we got a chance to talk to brothers on the other side of the continent and actually see what's going on. Here's what I want to say. In the 1960s, the number one threat to the U.S. government was for
Brother, can you stop reading and just talk?
African Americans to connect with Africa. I'll say that again. In the 1960s, the number one threat was for African Americans to connect back with Africa.
That was a lie. What are you talking about, man? Number one threat to who?
Or the arrival of a black messiah.
Well, you mixing stuff up. First of all, Africa just got their independence in the 1960s. These are failing countries who just got their independence. The white man said, "Okay, yes, okay, you're independent. We'll stop, supporting you financially. Go get your own money. You go be great."
That was the number one no that cannot happen to African Americans. Could not happen.
That was the least thing on our mind. linking up with Africans. What are you talking about, man? What was our gain from linking up with? What was the gain from for us to link up with Africans? How were we going to be greater in the 1960s? We're over here fighting for the Civil Rights Act. How linking up with Africa is going to help us out when Africa couldn't link up with Africa? All you got to do is just Google Pan-African Federations, and you'll see how they try to link up with each other. They just couldn't. They just couldn't. They could not link up with each other at all. So how can we link up with people? I got a post that I made. It's called this right here. And it's real talk. Where's it at? Let me just show you. If I could quickly find it. Oh, there we go. There you go. Can we unite with the divided? Of course not. They're divided amongst themselves. It's no unity. Knock it off.
The government was so much afraid of that happening. Hence, you see the assassination of Dr. King, the assassination of Malcolm X, and many others, Fred Hampton, all the others that
Yeah, and that had nothing to do with Africa.
followed after that passed away as well. So that was that thing. So when we finally got on this Clubhouse app, we like, wow, this is finally the opportunity to see what's actually going on, start some businesses in Africa, start some businesses with Ghana, Nigeria.
Look, all the businesses start in Africa. Africa gets all the benefits. Not happening.
And then it started to get the conflict. Then the conflict started. However it started, I don't know what happened. But then you started.
Oh, so now you don't know how it happened? Got it.
Hearing people making groups that
Rest in peace.
ADOS movement. If you don't know what ADOS is I believe it stands for American Descendants of Slaves.
Oh, okay, so now we know what they're mad at. They're mad at we decided to delineate and self-identify, and that was, this is bad. He's admitting that we said, we don't want to be the generic African any longer. We're American Descendants of Slaves, and we're FBA. And to him, that was, that's crazy. He's admitting that self-identifying and delineation is what got them all butthurt.
It was a discrepancy between them and Nigerians. And when people say shade, they say Africans. It seemed like they really mean Nigerians, because Nigerians are the most Africans here.
No, when we say Nigerians, we're literally saying, when we're saying Africa, we're literally saying 54 countries. We're not focused on Nigerians, because we know the same shit happens with the Kenyans, Zimbabweans, Liberians. All of you guys are potential ops and tethers. So no, we're not just focused on Nigerians. Knock that off. Ugandans come over here and be crazy as well. Family, we get numerous in the chat. Okay, let's match up the likes with the live viewership. Thank you.
Here in the United States, right?
Right.
But Nigerians is not all of us Africans. My father's from Cameroon, by the way.
Okay, but that was a straw man. You can't tell us when we say Africans, we really mean Nigerians, and then debate against that and then correct us. Like that was crazy. When we say Africans, we don't mean Nigerians. We mean Africans. We mean all of you. Real simple.
So but here in America, most of the interactions between African Americans and Africans are between African Americans and Nigerians. Now,
what poll is that? What poll is that? Nigerians might be the most loudest, but we Sudanese. Myra's not from Nigeria. We got a lot of Eritreans and Ethiopians. No. What poll you take? Nigerians might be the most loudest, but all of you guys.
All started through Clubhouse. What was your feelings when that stuff started happening? As you know, we spend so much time trying to unite the diaspora, and then we see people try.
Yeah, you spend so much time to unite the diaspora with those lies and straw man arguments. That'll never happen. Peace to Carlos Magus. He said, yeah, I liked and shared. Thank you. We just hope everybody listening now can like the video at the very least.
Trying to tear it down.
It was really disheartening on multiple levels, it's like, here we are, we have this platform that we can utilize where we can learn from each other, we can connect with each other, we can come up with ideas to uplift and, you know, create a better relationship in society between us. And
She's just making stuff up.
people are just using it to bash.
Like
You know, like one is better than the other. Well, no one is better than the other. You know, for the Nigerians saying that, you know, African Americans are slaves and all this other kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds like shots. So they said we're slaves. Okay, what did we say about them?
Well, technically, if you wanted to come back, you could be like, you know, what I've seen in Clubhouse, somebody came back and was like, well, y'all just got through segregation 30 years ago. And I'm just like, it's true, but that's not the point. The point is, as a whole, if one of us is affected, then we're all affected.
Us. Exactly.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No. That's a lie.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, we went through our slavery, we went through our Jim Crow stage with segregation. Yes, Africans went through the apartheid, and technically they were not considered citizens in their own continent.
Right, Braxton.
Right. I can't say.
Yeah, I talked about the Pan-African federations where none of them can. Let me do a quick Google for y'all. Well, don't freeze on me. Okay, so maybe a quick Google wasn't going to be quick. All right. What the hell is North America Pan-Africanist Federation? Here we go. So what was, let's see, which one of these? What was the Pan-African movement? What happened all around the world? Nah, I want the Pan-African. No, that's not what I want. I put federation. All right, I'll come back to it. I ain't gonna waste no time. I got a lot of videos to play tonight.
State country because Africa's
No, the Pan-Africanist Federation movement was a bunch of African countries in Africa trying to link up with each other, and they flopped. Within 3 years, they just said, "Nah, hell with you. I'm gonna do me, you do you."
made up of hundreds of countries, but in their own continent, they were not considered as citizens.
Right.
You know, so when something like that happens, we need to be able to empathize. And I don't want to say sympathize because there's no sympathy needed. We need to be able to empathize with the other.
Exactly. If you're coming from Africa, you need to empathize with those who are descendants of slaves. Absolutely. It's not like we don't need to separate, because at the end of the day, when we all seen George Floyd with that man's knee on his neck, around the world, Black people felt that pain. And this is no different. So when I think we have to have a conversation, because you absolutely have Africans that feel that they're not responsible for transatlantic slave trade, which every African isn't. There is royal family people who know who they are and they're named. It's documented in Nigeria who these people were who sold many slaves. But we can't blame everybody.
Right.
Just like you can't blame all white people for slavery. You know, you can't, once you start saying words like all white people or all Africans or all African Americans, you're going to be wrong all the time.
Absolutely.
So I think we just got to be really careful for that. But I will say that to empathize, that word you used, to empathize with the situation, to empathize with apartheid,
they really think they're cooking. Yeah, like I said, just remind you, this channel flopped. Okay, they're no longer making videos. This channel flopped.
Empathize with transatlantic slave trade, to empathize what happened with the civil rights movement, to empathize with the assassinations of all those African leaders, i.e. Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, and so many more, Gaddafi, and all of these other brothers that passed away. All of these things that happened with Malcolm X. There is a connection there, and the connection is we all have been bamboozled out of our land. Somehow, some way. Africa has the richest resources in the entire world, but Africans are not controlling them.
Because you sold them like you sold us. You guys got a problem with selling things that are valuable, right? That's your problem. You sell things that are valuable. You need to keep things that are valuable. Okay, you don't sell your valuables. You keep selling your valuables because you're greedy little hungry people.
So that's a problem in itself. African Americans have influenced the entire world, whether it's music, film, dance,
Fashion.
what have you. I mean, we have influenced the entire world. So we need to combine all of these things, the resources, the talent, the knowledge, the mathematics from ancient Kemet. We need to combine all of that knowledge that we know about ourselves and that we're coming to know about ourselves now and use it as all of ours.
Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're high bright to dark night. One drop rule still exists in the mentality.
Facts.
You black when you come here.
No, you're not. You could cosplay as black, but we know you're not. Sold it all for chicken change, right? Mr. Master Mike. What's wrong with these folks, man? And now all of a sudden everybody black. We're all African, and then we're all black. Like, stop it. No, you're African, we're not African, and we're black, you're not black. It's okay.
Facts. It is crazy to me how some people on the African continent, some of our brothers and sisters are like, I'm not black. And I understand why they will say that.
I do too, because they're not.
Because the stigma of black.
Oh my God. He just made the opposite argument for us. He said, we don't want to be African because of the stigma. Now you're saying Africans don't want to be black because of stigma. How about how about we're not African, and how about they're not black? How about they are African and we're black? Is that okay? We're just different, man. It's okay to be different. It's okay, man. Embrace it.
But the reality is, if you come to this country, you're going to be labeled black, period.
No, they're not. They're being labeled African American. And they're saying they're Nigerian American, Sudanese American, and that works for me. They're not black, though.
The diaspora war has to stop. We have to accept everyone for their cultures, their traditions, respect what they've brought to the world. And as being an African American.
Right, Biggie. Biggie said, when we thought we were all cool, they said no. Right. They let us know. I remember when, like, my early 20s, when I started to finally, like, see Africans in America, and I would try to talk to them and talk all that black brother stuff. We. They look at me like, there ain't no we. That's you. That's a you problem. And they told me, go fix that. You dig? That's not our problem.
We also have to let the world know that the things that we're able to do in America, many other immigrants benefit from what we went through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but why are they benefiting? And do they deserve to benefit after the district? See, and that's the interesting thing. You're saying they benefit from America because of our sacrifices. So how are they able to say anything negative about us? I mean, yeah, come on, dude. You're not making any sense.
That is a fact.
Absolutely.
There may not be many African immigrants in America if it wasn't for African Americans fighting for it. But I will say this.
And he keep calling us African American, and that's interesting. So you're never going to say Black American? You're gonna say African American the whole show, right?
Us on this side, we have to connect back with the diaspora to understand where we were. We talk about Egypt, we talk about Kemet, we could talk about Mali, we can connect with all of those because the whole Mali Empire.
Yeah, I was Black Feather Archery took the words out of my mouth. Hey, peace to Robert Johnson. When you said they're doing too much, the reason why I didn't say anything because I took it like you were talking about the people that are talking, like these Tethers and Coons. But it comes off that you might be saying we're doing too much. So Robert Johnson, would you just make it clear that you are saying these two panelists, the Coon guy, Tether guy, Coon woman, Tether woman, are doing too much, so we know that you're in accord with us. All right, because I think you mean these two on the screen are doing too much, not necessarily we, the FBA lineage.
Empire was Western Africa, and many of the slaves came from Western Africa. The Egyptians, many of them fled to Central and Western Africa.
Yeah, why is this guy talking about Egypt, dude? Come on, miss us with that. That's not gonna work. We're not gonna sit around calling ourselves Egyptian and saying Hotep and knock it off, bro. We're Foundation Black Americans. This is us, our unique ethnogenesis, and we built America that's 40,000 times greater than Egypt.
After the Romans came in, so we don't know how many Black Americans have ancient Egyptian blood in us. So really, that being said,
Braxton,
we have to understand that we have to connect.
Claus said, I tried to stall him out, but now he's hiding. Yeah, now, Robert Johnson, we really just want to know, who were you referring to? Were you referring to the two panelists, or were you referring to the lineage that's named FBA? It's a real simple question for you.
Connect back with our African roots in order to really make those connections with our brothers and sisters. And we find when you go over to Africa, many different countries, they're not even aware of their history because of colonization.
Absolutely. The way to keep a people under control is to keep them stupid.
Facts.
If you don't know greatness that you come from, I've said this before a few times, when you don't know that you come from greatness, you don't think.
Ma'am, there's nothing great in Africa. The greatness started here in America, and that was our ethnogenesis. The greatness started with our ethnogenesis. That's when it started.
Great all the time. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a person who knows that they're descended from a king, right? Well, I'm descended from a king.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they got that boosted ego, and then you have some people.
Man, let me send Robert Johnson a link because he's not clear on what he's saying. I'm gonna send you a link, Robert Johnson, so we can hear you out. You can speak your piece because you're speaking in a chat and it's not clear. There you go, Robert Johnson. That's the link. Can you click that for us and clear up the confusion?
People were like, well, I was descended from a slave. Well, some people are very proud about that. And we're not knocking that. We're proud that we made it through the struggle. Right?
Right.
A lot of...
Yeah, well, tell us more about the stretching too far, Robert Johnson, because sometimes when you're chatting or anybody chatting, we don't really get it the way it's supposed to be expressed. So if you could click that link and express it the correct way, I really appreciate that.
Conscious thought comes from, well, what did the slave do? That's not something to be extremely like, oh my God, yes. Like the one Black man from here who found out that he was a descendant of Ramesses.
Right. I remember that.
You just made that shit up.
Yeah.
Ramses the third, right?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
So I'm just like, if you look at that and how
there we go, this computer crashing.
And how
but family, we are 20 likes down. Robert Johnson, I hate to time you out, but Marcus Garvey, yeah, he did a little bit. Robert Johnson, I would hate to time you out for no, for little reason, but you're saying you're saying things in the chat and it's not coming off clear, and that's some tether shit. So click the link and be clear, and we move on. But if you don't click the link, I gotta stop you from communicating in the chat.
How proud he was. Like, it was like his life had a purpose. He knew that he came from something great.
Let me find your name before it disappears so I can get rid of you before. Yeah. So I'm on your name right now. It's 11:51. I'm gonna give you some time. I'm gonna give you 11:53. If you don't click that link by 11:53, Robert Johnson, I have to delete you from the chat permanently. That's all.
Exactly.
And I feel like our brothers and sisters in the islands have kind of, especially in Haiti. I mean, Haiti got their independence before we did.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? They went to war. They're like, yeah, we're not doing this.
Wait. She said we did. Now the whole time she positioned herself as a foundership Black American. She said, so Haiti got their independence before we did. Who is the we? Because Haiti independence was 1804. Who is the other we? What foreign country are you representing?
In the islands have kind of something great.
Exactly.
And I feel like our brothers and sisters in the islands have kind of, especially in Haiti. I mean, Haiti got their independence before we did.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that we? I'm confused there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? They went to war. They're like, yeah, we're not doing this. We're not going to be slaves. You're done.
That's why you see the diaspora starting to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Starting to celebrate Haiti.
Absolutely. When you work in the best interest of a collective, you find more similarities versus the opposite side where you're just.
All right. So Robert John, I'm just going to time you out for half an hour. I was going to delete you, but half an hour timeout.
In it for you, you're not interested in the collective. And honestly, doing that, you don't get very far. I hope that everybody can understand and listen with an open heart and an open mind that we're all the same people.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not buying that, Braxton, because I know a little bit about that. My boy that he comes on here, ex-architect, he can explain that to you, what happened with that. But that is a little bit of propaganda in there. That's not the whole truth. There's a mixture, and if I wanted to, I can pull that article up and read it correctly, but I don't want to. So he's not telling a whole lie, but there's a lot of romanticizing in there.
Yep.
Because it's like it goes to a DNA argument, which I do not want to do.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it right here on the Culture Show. This is Kulu and Shay, another one we got going. We got some more shows coming for you guys.
Yeah, your shows were trash, dude. We're not interested. Okay, so all right. So, family, your favorite Tethers are back.
Wanted to kind of share with you guys some of the comments, reactions, what people have said that, we just wanted to highlight when we talk about there's a gap still that we have here where we're not really understanding each other. The whole sense of diaspora wars in 2023, Africans having stands, Black Americans, African.
Now, actually, Braxton, I did a video on that because when I was arguing with Revenue and Tether Dream, the Haitians, Braxton, did not directly help us with anything. And I'm not saying this to, just to pick an argument or a fight, but I'm literally telling you that Haitians did not directly help us with anything in America. The Haitian Revolution was in 1804. We fought in the Civil War in 1863. So we're talking about almost 60 years later is when we did something about our enslavement. So that's not it. That's not a great influence. If they did something and 60 years later we do something, influence is you do something and somewhere around that time I do something similar. Not 60 years later. Yeah, so the Haitians directly did not help us out with anything, and you gotta wrench. You could post a link to your research, and I will click it and put it on a jumbotron. I will share it, so you can put the link in there, and I will click it. But I want to let you know I already did not live on this. The Haitians have done nothing directly to help us out with anything we had going on in America. We literally just had to do it ourselves. We had no help from nobody. And I'm not revising history. That's a fact. And yeah, everybody, y'all got wrenches. Just put the link in the chat. I click it and we'll go over it.
Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, instead of us focusing on a united front on Black empowerment, Black pride.
But the thing is, like, there's a lot of fake news and a lot of exaggerating when it comes to the Haitian Revolution and our independence or our civil war. 60 years later, that's not influence, and we went to war for a whole different reason than what the Haitians did. So now, did you know, Braxton? Did you know when they got their independence? Or let's say this, do you know when they fought the French and came up under from the French rule? Did you know Toussaint had re-enslaved the Haitians for a period of time before he got tricked by his own people and captured by the French? And then Dessalines had to come and get them out of re-enslavement. So Toussaint set up a situation where he re-enslaved them, and Dessalines had to get them out of re-enslavement. The Haitians hated Toussaint because of that re-enslavement thing he did. They hated him for that. And Dessalines is the hero in Haiti because he got him out of that re-enslavement, and he's the one that came up with the term Haitian. He said, okay, from now on, we're Haitian.
We are kind of nitpicking here and there issues that
we really be studying this Haitian history and Jamaican history and the islands and Africa. We be trying to stay sharp and stay on point, so a tether can't sneak misinformation.
I feel like are not progressive towards us as a whole people, because
I'm telling you,
like the Black people, like if we are united and we bond,
right,
we are actually strong all together. It makes it easy for us in any country that we are in this world.
Oh yeah,
is like I think there's a sense of, I know here U.S. is a big
now the Haitian Revolution, it helped America gain, I believe, Louisiana. So you can say that. You can say, hey, without the Haitian Revolution, the Revolutionary War, America wouldn't have their hands on Louisiana. You can make that argument, but that's about it, I think. But when it comes to helping us directly to get the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship and be emancipated, the Haitians had zero to do with that. Zero. Our freedom had nothing to do with Haiti at all. It was other stuff. It was the South trying to secede from the North. It was a bunch of other things going on, and it had nothing to do with Haiti. Haiti was not on the mind of anybody in America when we were fighting for our freedom.
Country and people,
and that's why none of our leaders ever said, "Hey, Frederick Douglass," or anybody never said, "Hey, we like to thank the Haitian Revolutionary War." No, nobody ever done that. Martin Delany, and he was a Pan-Africanist. He never said, "Yes, we got freedom now. We got citizenship. Thank you, Haiti." That never happened with our leaders.
can get so consumed in the U.S. affairs history. But like our skin tone is global.
Oh yeah.
It's not just in the US. So I think a lot of some people took away, they didn't get like our sense that we're not solely focused on the American experience. Yes, we're living in America and we talk about it. But when we talk about like our Blackness, our need for unity, Pan-Africanism, it's American experience. Yes, we're living in America and we talk about it. But when we talk about like our Blackness, our need for unity, Pan-Africanism, it's from a global standpoint, a global perspective.
Oh, 1,000%. It's, and I think we've also made it very clear that if you are not about that, then this is not the platform for you.
It's totally fine.
Right? You can go about your day and you whatever ideology you align with, but that's ours. And so if you don't align with that, then, you know, probably don't waste your time watching us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's only going to infuriate you, but I don't understand how, because, you know, we're trying to do something meaningful, but, you know, you can't please everybody.
Of course.
Much like Mike Jones hyphen WN1SW.
What did he say?
He said, "This is so confusing." Oh, context, we were talking about the significance of Black History Month, right?
For Africans,
For Africans
living in the US.
Yeah. And this brother.
Wait, that's a total contradiction. Black History Month for Africans in the USA. What? I'm like, these dudes be trying to hijack everything. That sounds crazy.
He said, This is so confusing for you because it doesn't apply to you. This is not a global event. This is a time to celebrate foundational Black Americans.
Right.
We have always celebrated our accomplishments of our people, not slavery. The slavery aspect is just a testament to what we've been through to accomplish while, or what we've been able to accomplish while being prisoners
Peace, Quentin.
of war. We know who we come from and where we come from, and we do not need an African to tell us what and who they think we are. Besides our achievements, our people have always told us who we are. We are Aboriginals of America. The concept of Black History Month does not make sense to Africans because, one, they are not Black. Two, we are celebrating us, not them.
I told you they're not Black. Told you. And this person right there just said it. And by the way, I have a PDF that I am offering for free. It's pretty much done. I just like to be meticulous and make sure that I think I was going to add something there. Delineation. I'm gonna add that in there. The reason why we're gonna delineate, but the PDF was focused on Black, who's Black and who's not. So in the PDF, I'm explaining why I say the only Black people in the world are foundational Black Americans. Nobody else is Black. Okay, everybody else is just who they are from their country: Nigerian American or Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Kenyans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Irish people. That's just who you are. We're the only Black people in the world. Okay. Nobody called themselves Black in a positive way until we did, starting with Elijah Muhammad and then the whole Black Power movement. Okay. Dr. King said it, but Elijah Muhammad made that poppin' in the mid 1950s. In his book entitled Message to the Black Man in America. Let me just show you. Okay. Right there. No, not that one. Right here. Okay. This Elijah Muhammad, Message to the Black Man in America, was the book. Right there. That right there. Okay. So let me just click it real fast. 1965, several times thereafter, beginning with a brief autobiography of Muhammad, covers his philosophy on race, religion, blah, blah, blah. But there you go. Message to the Black Man in America. Nobody was calling himself a Black man in a positive way before us. We were the first people to do it. And then foreigners start to call themselves Black in like the 2000s. They always call themselves after their country. They even got their country flags all in their car. Where's the Black flag? Okay, they had their Trinidadian flag in their car because they're Trinidadian. They're not Black. They had their Barbados flag in the car because that's what they are: Bajan, Bahamian, Nigerian, Zimbabwe. They had their flags of their countries in their car because that's who they are. Okay, and we are Black. That's all we ever been. Okay, so the Black man, that's us. Everybody else is they're just who the country, the country they're from, what tribe. That's it. Nothing Black about a person who's Fulani. You're just Fulani. Nothing Black about a person who's Igbo or Yoruba. They're just Yoruba, Igbo, and all those tribes. And Kenyans are Kenyans, and Ghanaians are Ghanaians. That's it. You ain't Black. You're just Ghanaian. And you are the true Africans.
Tell me what we was gonna talk about.
No,
So I wonder.
not that one.
We pride ourselves in our Aboriginals of what and who they think we are. Besides our achievements, our people have always told us who we are. We are Aboriginals of America. The concept of Black
Right,
History
Rita.
Month does not make sense to Africans because, one, they are not Black. Two,
Thank
we
you.
are celebrating us, not them. We pride ourselves in our ancestors. Africans claim to have some type of intelligence, but they prove time and time again to be very surface level people.
Okay. Well, yeah. That commentary. I hate when they use one comment to represent FBAs. Like, stop, bro. That's one person comment, and they cooking. Some things, they a little harsh, but other things they're factual about. Rita said Tethers came and tried to take over, yet they blame FBA for not allowing them to. Right? They're mad at delineation. They said earlier. Well, the last Tethers said ADOS is what pissed them off because Adolf drew the line. Said, "Hey, man, we ain't them. They ain't us." You dig? Want to thank. So I want to thank. I got some Cash App love just now. I want to thank you very, very much. Uh, so I don't want to shout your government name because I know you are most likely got a YouTube name. So if you are the one with the Cash App love, just you know, if you want us to shout you out, just let us know from the chat, and I'll shout your chat name out. But I appreciate the chat, Cash App love. Okay, and we'll continue. The Cash Tap, I said Cash Tap. The Cash App tag is at the top of the screen. But let's go. Let's keep cooking. Oh, as you come in, family, like the video. Thank you.
Now,
Sounds like what a colonizer will say to us.
He said, "Sounds like a colonizer." And yeah, they so stuck on colonizers. It's like, dude, we don't even know what the hell that is. What's a colonizer? Like, we know about slave masters. Anyway, that's not what a colonizer would say. That's something an FBA person would say to get you guys from cosplaying Black history in America. You ain't Black. You're African. Cameroon, Ghanaian, things like that. You're not Black. And you were not Black until like the 2010s. Matter of fact, you haven't been Black since we started to champion reparations. And that's when all these people start to say they were Black, just to tag themselves on to our reparations claim.
I don't know who hurt Mike Jones, but not only historically, not only is he historically wrong, he's also lacking a lot of substance in his argument. Now, don't get me wrong. There's parts I agree with in what he said. For example,
they always talk about his family. Now, this is my phrase that I made. Okay, this is my phrase. You can borrow it, but just get my flowers. My phrase is Tethers or anybody, any ops, but I'm gonna say Tethers in this case. They love to talk about us, but they hate to talk to us. So basically, they'll talk about us, but they won't engage with us, especially Africans. Like, we're like kryptonite to them. They refuse to engage with somebody who is of the lineage, who knows that we need to delineate and self-identify. They run from speaking with us, but they'll love to talk about it though.
this is a time to celebrate foundational Black Americans. We've always celebrated the accomplishments of our people, not slavery. Let's start there. It started as an American holiday, right? So there's no disputing that.
Yes.
It started as a Negro Week, wasn't it? The Negro Week, or
I would not be able to tell you that.
I think that's how it started.
L.A. Hopkins
made its way into Black History Month, right? So it started in America. There's no denying that. But then to turn around and say Africans claim to have some type
yeah. And the whole Black British thing, that's also late. That's late. They stole Black too. That's late. The whole Black thing for British people came later.
intelligence, but they prove time and time again to be very surface level people. Man, you need to do a lot of homework. the whole Pan-African movement was a global movement, right? It wasn't just Africans or just Caribbeans. It was
not actually started by Africans.
No, it was started by a Jamaican man, Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey,
right? Garveyism.
Really? I believe it started here, buddy. I thought it started here, and this is before Garvey. I thought it started in 1900 at the Pan-African conferences. At least by name. By name, this when Pan-Africanism started. This predates Marcus Garvey and him with his UNIA movement. Okay, so they call themselves trying to correct an FBA person, and we still got to correct them.
Right. It wasn't just Africans or just Caribbeans. It was
not actually started by Africans.
No, it was started by a Jamaican man, Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey,
right? Garvey.
That's cap.
If you did some homework there, Mike Jones, I think that you're misplacing a lot of what's the word for it? You're misplacing a lot of
There's frustration.
history.
There's anger.
Yeah.
And
We understand it, but he's misplacing a lot of history there, and therefore not getting a comprehensive view of the topic there, which we're trying to talk about why a Black History Month is so important, right? And those feelings might get in the way of having an objective view on what we were even talking about, you know?
Well, he was not having an objective view on what we're talking about. And, I hate even making these hot takes or making these bold statements because it's kind of what's making everyone tired of podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it either way. Sometimes I would say from what we've seen, people like Mike Jones who've commented us, there's also a lot of anger, frustration.
That's my fault, family. My computer froze. Hold on. It froze. Okay, but we're back.
Frustration. It feels like being directed towards Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Let me shout out Tracy Clark. I said Clark. Tracy Clark. Peace to you and everybody who's new today that I gave a wrench to. That's because you're part of the same lineage as us. You are Foundation Black American. You are ADOS. You're Freedmen. Okay. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. I'm normally live around this time and early afternoon, like 11, 12 a.m.
That for me,
11 a.m., 12 p.m., around that time.
I just don't understand where this is coming from or what's the justification.
It's coming from the necessary truth. And we're justifying you guys trying to hijack. Well, Mike Jones was responding to you guys trying to hijack Black history. Black history had nothing to do with Africans. And you're sitting here saying Black history for Africans in USA. Yeah, Mike Jones is responding to that. Okay. That there's nothing for Africans in America. You can start your own stuff in Nigeria. That'd be nice.
To want to highlight that, Black History Month, for example, was for Black Americans. Yes, that's agreed. No African is trying to claim it.
No. So, right. Well, you just did. You said Black History Month, and you said something about Africans in the USA. That you made that up.
But to then want to direct some level of frustration and anger towards your viewpoint as Africans being somewhat of, what did he even say?
He said very surface level people.
Very surface level people. Either way, they'll find a way to insult Africans.
Yeah.
I just don't know why this happens. And this is kind of what we've seen. And
well, here we go. Play stupid, and now they're going to play victim. Play stupid, and then play victim.
Trying to address that. We are not the reason. We're not by any means supposed to be even close to an op or come off as we're a detriment to you guys by being.
Oh, you definitely are. You sold us. That make you the op right from the start. Okay. And then you came here with no love lost, believing the stereotypes that you guys say that was put on us. So you come here believing the stereotypes that we're lazy, we're gangbangers, and so that on top of you selling us, you're permanent ops.
Being here.
Yeah.
Like, we're not that.
Yes, you are.
Why are we seeing a lot of anger and frustration being directed towards Africans?
Let me ask that question. Because you be cosplaying, you sold us, and now you're buying into the stereotypes about we're lazy and we're criminals. So yeah, those things right there is going to piss FBAs off, and you'll get the energy you're receiving. So stop playing stupid. Stop playing victim.
As if like we're out here just, trying to be a menace, trying to be just against foundational Black Americans, for example.
Yes, you are, because you cosplay. You try to represent us, which is misrepresent us in public. You speak against reparations. You're never speaking great on our behalf. You're never around when we're protesting, boycotting, and seeking justice. And you live in your enclaves. You got African enclaves. As I keep saying, how is it possible that you guys want to be down like Brandy, and we never see you guys in our daily lives? We see Chinese people, we see Arabs, we see Spanish people, we see white people, we see Caribbean people, we see everybody under the sun on a daily basis, but we never ever run into Africans. How's that possible? I'm talking about FBAs. We never run into Africans. How's that possible? Because they're taught to stay away from foundation Black Americans. That's why it's possible that we never run into these guys in real life. They're never at the bar. They're never at the football game. Anything that we frequent, they're not there. They purposely avoid us.
Like, this is not the case. I don't know where this is coming from. And if there are Africans who are out here insulting or finding ways to look down, we're going to talk about it. We've had this conversation and called
plenty times. Yeah.
Yes.
Not only have we called those people out, we've called out ways in which we need to be better. Right.
But
what does that mean? You need to be better. What does that even mean? We need to be better. What are you talking about? It's bigger than you need to be better. We want reparations from your countries for selling us. Okay, we want you to be accountable. Screw better. We want you to be accountable. That's what we want. We'll take moral reparations.
Just this unwarranted anger and frustrations I see from a lot of Black Americans towards Africans that
I wonder why.
A lot of times I just don't find the justification for.
Well, we don't expect you to, man. You guys, that's tether logic.
We can reason, we can talk about why are you feeling this way? We can break it down, but I just don't know how that then directs towards I hate Africans or I don't like Africans.
Yeah.
They are the problem.
Yeah.
Those two don't link.
It's almost with that same logic applied in reverse, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like
it only works for someone, one part, and it doesn't you are just basically allowing this division to continue, and it does not help anyone.
Yeah.
The raw truth about everything's in the building. He just babbling.
Of our skin tone.
Yeah.
He's acting fake, Taya. He's insincere. He's just everything about him. He just acting.
So I just don't see it. I've noticed this a lot. I've seen it from our comments, people who are saying, like, they're just one or a few people who, I just see this level of anger and frustration. And you're just using us Africans as the outlet for it. Yeah. I just don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I will say
that ignorance right there is why we rather just don't deal with none of y'all. Y'all want to pretend like we're just making stuff up? Exactly. Just like a white supremacist. Oh, there's no racism. Right. Both of you, stay away from us.
I got this theory, right? That a lot of people also, because you'll notice some of the accounts that comment that'll be like 1 or 2 followers and following 600.
Oh boy, the theory is we are bots. Here they go. These guys are not innovative at all. They're not inventors, and this is why their countries fail and they can't get any better. They cannot innovate and be creative with ideas, unique at all. He's going to say we're bots. I already see it.
100.
Yeah.
Right.
Trolls.
I think there's a lot of trolls online who may not even be black.
Probably not.
But they just want to keep that division. So they hop online and say the wildest things, right?
What division? We were never together. Okay. You sold us. That was the division right there.
And when you give them the time of day, they thrive off that. And they want to like get even more ingrained into the conversation and keep, poking the bear, basically. We know y'all game, man. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, sure you do.
We're very familiar with your game now. So you'll notice now it's like I don't even got time to reply to trolls like that.
Tether babble.
So I will say there is that aspect of it, and we know y'all. So just keep it. Just
well, there's trolls.
Together,
we have
man.
Trolls. Yeah, that's cool. You can troll. You can have comments and stuff like that. But I do feel like too, some of them are not trolls.
Oh, for sure.
So what we're seeing sometimes is real, almost anger that we're trying to bring us together. We're trying to build that bridge. We're trying to promote our positivity on the African standpoint. You have the Black Americans, African Americans here, and just highlighting how much we even have in common and how much we should celebrate each other and actually join forces.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it easier for us from the global perspective.
For 100%, yeah.
That's the only way we can reverse, as we mentioned, what has happened to us.
So, I mean, we got to hold everybody accountable.
We have to hold everyone accountable.
And
if we hold Africans accountable for their nonsense they've done, the things they've said, viewpoints, even somewhat was passed down generations, there has to be accountability as well for look at this guy going on our page and commenting and saying derogatory things towards Africans, coming to us to say that thing.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have, for sure. No, those type of people need to be held accountable.
Like
1,000%.
They are so hurt that an FBA checked them and put them in their place. They don't even know how to respond to that. They don't even know how to feel afterwards.
You're no different than the African who goes around either calling you a cara or claiming all of those things. You're no different than them.
Here we go. Look, calling you a kata. Well, when did we hear that on your show? It's the first time. Seriously? So they're hurt. Now they want to try to insult back. But he didn't insult you guys. He was being real. And just being real just hurts you guys. Delineating hurts you guys. Self-identifying hurts you guys. Us just being ourselves and being cool and being on code, it just hurts you guys. Because it kills and shatters that dream of Pan-Africanism with FBAs not happening.
We don't talk about it enough here.
We don't.
We could, we choose not to be a play victim that, hey, us, we're African.
V said you can't talk your way into a lineage.
Here living in America, and we just keep berating on our experiences with African Americans, the insults, the bullying, all of the things that we've experienced, our friends have experienced. If we can have a whole series on high school experience, the school experience of what African kids go through, primarily.
family, they would never have that conversation with me. Never.
Facing bullying from African Americans, we can have a whole series on that.
Yeah, we can. Ain't nobody bully you. And if you got bullied, you deserved it. Because you know why I say that? Because your parents told you guys to stay away from the Akata. And with that type of disrespect right there, yeah, we gonna check you.
Mhm.
But we choose not to,
Yeah.
because we understand there's a bigger issue towards that. This is something that is a problem between both sides, that we're actually trying to have conversations and
Ain't no
understand
convo.
why are we having this issue and what can we do as solutions to spread awareness to prevent that.
There was one particular
Okay, easy. Stop cosplaying. That's all. Be yourself.
comment, actually, kind of along those lines. Somebody said, like, we posted a video about unity,
Yes.
and somebody said something about oh, it's never that, it's always been tribal, and it forever will
Right.
be.
Yeah.
And I got on the comments back, and I'm like, I mean, go ahead and think that way, but this isn't an ideology we align with, right? So you can have your own.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, feel free to think that way, but this is not how we think. And that particular person went on a rant about, see, Black Americans, like, these guys aren't friends of you and of us, and they're, it's like,
I know.
I'm sitting there like, yo, you're not friends of your own people.
Yes.
You're the issue, because you're sitting there like, for lack of better terms, F unity, F like building together, F the
Yeah. F Pan-African unity, F building with a Pan-Africanist, especially one from the continent. I'm with all that. F all of that. I agree 100%.
purpose of community. I'm gonna do this by my own. Anywhere you are in life, generally speaking, that's not a good way to approach life.
It's not.
Right? Because
it really isn't.
if you go alone, if you can go fast, but you're alone. Now, if you wanna go strong, you go together, right?
I think it's a concept that still a lot of Black African Americans need to get on board on that. I wouldn't say, I think it's a need. Of course, it's a want for everyone. It's not by force. But if you study the scholars, if you just go from scholars.
Okay, so Robert Johnson came back. He said, I like the show. I'm glad you like the show, Robert Johnson.
We're not their scholars.
Braxton says lots of them still failed to realize just roasting, making fun or insulting things, and people are part of FBA culture and experience. Sometimes it's just for fun. But listen, I'm gonna say this to you, Braxton, though. But they can't say that before they came to America. Look, this is their words. They say before they came to America that when they were being filtered to come over here by immigration, they say immigration was brainwashing them to believe the worst about us and to stay away from us. So Braxton, with that being, which we know is false, right? That's false. Nobody brainwashed them. They brainwashed themselves. But regardless, they come into America brainwashed and they had these ill views about us. Okay, so and then they teach their kids to, keep away from foundational Black Americans because we're thieves, liars, and drug dealers and all type of negative stuff. So Braxton, what's going to happen when that 7-year-old kid is in class and FBA kid trying to link up with him like, hey man, let's go have some lunch or let's play kickball, whatever. And that weirdo African is staying away from an FBA person, not really speaking, making crazy ass faces. That 7 or 8-year-old is going to get tired of that. And they're going to start to roast them. I will get your little high water looking ass out of it. And I mean, that they're going to start roasting because the African gave the negative energy. I don't want to play with your energy for no reason. So they'll get roast. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to catch fire. Like most FBs in school gonna realize, yo, these Africans, they're weird. So they're gonna give them a term like tether, right? Which is African booty scratcher. But that is a perfect term for an African people who are purposely staying away from us because they believe we're less than. So the way we call out the tethers and give them the name tether to differentiate them from the riders, well, our youth gave those particular Africans a name that differentiated them from other riders that may be around. And they called them African booty scratcher. So yes, African booty scratcher was the first tether, was the first name for tether. I approve it. It is deserving.
Not, subject matter experts.
No.
But fine, take us out of it. We're just two guys that have a podcast. There are thousands. Everyone got one now.
Everyone has one.
But we talked about this. Garvey, Du Bois, MLK, Malcolm X, the prominent leaders of the 20th century, saw the continent of Africa and saw what their brothers were doing in trying to get from their independence and free from the shackles of colonialism. And all of them made deliberate efforts to try and build that bridge. And they understood the only way we can overcome imperialism, colonialism.
We don't deal with that, sir. So that wasn't Dr. King and our leaders. We don't deal with that at all. We don't deal with colonialism, imperialism, neocolonialism. That's a tether thing. That's a tether experience.
All the oppression that
apartheid,
comes,
all that.
Apartheid.
Yeah. None of that applies to us.
True unity. This is not differential equations.
No.
Like people, we can say it might sound very cliche, but it is not. This is really how it is.
Yeah.
If we want to go back to when Asian Africa, pre-colonial Africa, when we were conquering the world, you think you did it because you had, everyone there not united or under one mission?
Yeah.
It's just how it works. Any powerful nation is a united one.
Exactly. And any divided one will fall.
They divided our nation and sent us all over the world.
Yeah.
Sent us to America, South America, Caribbean. We stayed home. Some say, why didn't we get boats to pick them up? How can we, if we're also being oppressed there, where are we going to get boats to come pick?
Okay, family. See, now this is when they don't know history. They're mixing the 1600s with the 1900s. Okay, dude, when we say boats to come pick us up, we're being sarcastic. We're saying you sold us and you never tried to redeem us. That's all we're saying. By you getting colonized 200 years later, 200 to 300 years later, that has nothing to do with us. Matter of fact, 300 years later, because 1612, around that time, slavery in America popped off in Virginia. That's the 1600s. And the Berlin Conference, was 1892, and they really didn't start invading Africa until about the 1900s before they start carving it up. So yeah, about 300-year difference. He's confusing. You sold us in the 1600s. We're saying you never came from that time all the way until you got carved up. So before you got carved up, you had almost 300 years to send boats. You didn't. So we're not talking about when you got carved up. Obviously, you're powerless. We're talking about when you was in power to come. You didn't. Right? But we know that. But we say that just to let you know, you never came to come get us. You got 300 years and you chose to stand down. So don't be asking for unity now on your terms. No, because you didn't want it on our terms. And why did you sell us?
Pick up. But they divided our nation. And we are finally at a point, and this began in the 20th century, when those leaders we need to get back.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can have the prosperity for us globally. Prosperity, respect for all of us globally. Let's bond together. And guess what? Always, why would they want us to do that? They've always been efforts.
Yeah. Deliberate efforts to derail, whether that's intelligence intervention, whether that's literal political economy takeovers, whether it's all these things happen.
The media now, we talk about all of these things. So if I have to tell you as a Black person that you should prioritize or you should align with the importance to unite, to build that bridge. If you're American, if you're Afro-Caribbean, if I'm African, if I have to convince you it is important for us to unite and talk about the different ways we can unite and get together for our overall prosperity.
Yeah, I don't know what they think unite means. Hey, peace, let's get it 004, Lala Brown, Southern Breeze, Moonduck, Maximus in the building, Baby Rodriguez. Just popped in. Peace to you guys, you gals.
If I have to tell you that and you're like not even agreeing,
We got Tiger Crane Shakir in the building. Peace to you, brother. Grand, I guess we could say grand night, grand morning now.
you don't think it's important,
Past that, if you think it's like regressive,
It's regressive, actually?
like
then also
It's no comment.
what you have to do.
It's
But
no
I'm just
comment.
telling you this.
yeah.
What's interesting is that they have all these loud opinions and they refuse to actually talk to an FBA. Like, that's the most disrespectful thing that these Africans do. They'll talk about us all day long and try to get famous with a podcast, just talking about us, but they will hardly ever talk to us. Especially the Pan-African. Of course, a conservative African would, because they dumb as anything. But the Pan-Africanist Africans, they normally avoid an honest, sincere conversation with an FBA.
This is
And when I say FBA, I'm not talking about a random person of the lineage. I'm talking about somebody who's intentionally on code. Okay, you're not just FBA and some loose laws person. Like, you understand the fight, you understand where we're at today, and you're on code. That type of FBA, Pan-Africanist Africans, or even just continental Africans will dodge. The only stupid ones to talk to us are the conservatives of Africa.
how we see things. And I'm glad and I'm so happy that so many people have the same viewpoint and understand this thing. But this is what we're trying to do. I think this is where our prosperity comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tiger, so based upon what I think they mean by unity, because they kind of said it earlier, unity to an African is FBAs invest in Africa, help them set up businesses. We send money, donate money, help build Africa. Like I think that's how they define unity, because they say it and they never really give us a picture of how unity would look like, right? But they definitely talk about spending money in Africa, helping Africa, be great financially. They want our financial support.
We can't be siloed. And yes, you can try drill us, tell us, focus on your African countries. You guys are poor, do all of this, focus. Well, yeah. Tell us all you want.
Yeah.
But what did Burna Boy's mom say? You were African before you were anything else.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you're gonna ignore the part where he said, "Go fix your homeland." A peace to Teflon Sean. I see you, brother, in the chat. Peace to you, Encore Gilmore. Peace to you.
1,000%, man. You African before you anything else is powerful. But let's not give those minorities too much light of day.
And that's nothing. They try to downplay, and you see that's what got Fat Joe canceled. You guys want to downplay FBAs. We're just a minority, and then you find yourself regretting that. Like I said, this channel flopped.
Focus on another comment, a positive one. This one is from Shayla Evans 245. Shayla says, I really like this episode. We need more positive conversations about African Americans and Africans creating unity. We need each other. Our oppressors are still benefiting from our oppression and ignorance about what's really going on. I'm African American, and I'm fortunate to have been taught by African American scholars and researchers of history. They have taught me about many empires that existed in ancient Africa, colonialism, and the many fights for independence, as well as the African American history from slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, Black Panther, etc. Sorry for such a long comment. Thank you for the episode. Keep spreading positivity. Please don't entertain those who promote disunity.
Whatever. Family, we are about 20 likes away. So whoever didn't like the video, can you just like it real quick so we can meet the likes with the live viewership? Thank you.
Straight like that.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you, Shayla Evans 245.
Shout out to Shayla.
You know what I'm saying? She hit it right on the head. It's not too much.
Nothing else to add.
Yeah.
But she said it. We need to each learn each other's history. Find out what makes us all kind of our journeys, how we get together, our differences, our similarities. The differences is as a result of being uprooted from where we were originally from.
Yeah.
And 400 or 500 years have gone by, and now, yes, we look the same, but we've had such different journeys. And what a prime opportunity for us to get to learn from each other.
Yeah.
And when we learn from each other, we become stronger together. When we're stronger together, we can actually unite and improve our lives collectively from a global standpoint. People act like you need to be a humanitarian. We're not trying to win Nobel Peace Prize war here.
You see, people, I'll talk about, say, a person.
You trying to win the Kumbaya award, though, like with this fantasy talk.
Example is at work, okay? The reason that I've been able to achieve what I have in my field
shit. Now here go this anecdotal success story. This what they normally do. They're in America, most likely highly selected, elite of their lineage, and now they're gonna talk about their personal success story like this represents their homeland. Dude, stop it. There's only 400,000 Nigerians in America, and there's 239 million of you guys globally. So that 400,000 who are employed in America, you guys don't represent the 239 million Nigerians who makes $2 a day. Okay, so stop with this fake personal story about you and your quote unquote success. We're not impressed at all. At all.
Because of the people who championed me, right? The people who championed me, not one of them is from Uganda.
Not one from Uganda. Daryl Hart Peace, he said, we are not Africans, we are Foundation Black Americans. Exactly. Let me give Daryl Hart a lineage wrench and make him a moderator. Peace to Daryl Hart. Like the video, subscribe. Daryl, pull up when we're live. We're usually live 11 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Right? Not one of them is from Rwanda. They're more like from Oakland.
Yeah.
From the South, like Dallas. From Boston. From Seattle.
Yep.
Nigeria. Kenya. You see what I'm saying? Like,
representation. Do they see something in it?
But past that, those people are looking out for me, or have and are looking out for me as their brother, right? So they see me, they're like, oh, another black brother, come on up with us, right? Because if you win, I win, right? If I hit the lottery today, I'm not gonna sit there like, let me not tell Ibrahim I just hit on this 10 mil. Like, what am I gonna? You know what I'm saying? I'm calling you. I'm like, yo, I just hit on 10 mil. What are we doing right now? You see what I'm saying?
Stop it. Oh my God. This fantasy talk, man.
For reals.
Like, because I'm seeing it as like, okay, I can take this 10 million.
For what?
Wash it away, invest it somewhere.
So we're gonna talk about fantasy lottery winnings. Let me fast forward this. I'm not doing it with this guy. Fantasy lottery winnings.
Bron built a whole school. You know. Anyway.
Yeah, leave that
Like
alone.
I said, the efforts of LeBron and
I
what
ain't about to go into fantasy talk at all.
we're doing, it can be scaled up globally. And once we start having that mindset, we start multiplying different communities, and we start scaling that.
Bruh, stop. Aki Betha in the building.
We change the status quo.
Which is our focus.
Lala Brown said they're trying to harvest our energy and it's not working. Exactly.
Like the next 5 to 10 years is critical for that.
Yeah, so that's just, it's exciting. I think, especially like, with our generation, next generation, it's just so exciting how through either social media or just, it's so easy now to learn about African cultures, different African countries. So easy
Not happening. And yeah, that's not happening. That's not a
to
requirement.
learn about,
That's not a requirement with FBA at all. Not a requirement.
in America here, the Atlantas, the cities with, a lot of African American history, what their journey is. And then now we all have friends, and I feel like it's so easy to just cherish each other and find ways that we can not only cherish each other, but empower each other as well.
Yep.
Because we may not know the end goal, but once these things start to scale, you look in 10, 15, 20 years, we have a really strong nation.
Yeah. There's a very famous producer, Ninth Wonder, and he always talks about how if you do dope shit, the universe has its way of rewarding you, right? If you do dope shit, people who do dope shit will find you, and dope shit will find you itself. So that message obviously goes to say, like, if your heart is in the right place and if your mind is in the right place, the universe has its way of rewarding you. It may not be the way you think it may happen, but the universe has its way of rewarding you. And so that, yeah, come on, man. We're on the wave of empowerment here. What was your favorite episode of the season? Do you have one?
Favorite episode of the season?
Oh, we're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that.
People have never such a big call to action, and for me to reaffirm us that it is important for us not to just have these conversations, but to keep it going, to keep sharing this message, because we need to understand these things. And this is not only in the US, wherever you go, wherever country you go, that there are Black people and you get opportunities. Find out how you got those opportunities. There were people before you who came, very few, but they paved the way. And America has become, top 3 destinations for Africans to who can afford an education or who can leave the continent and come here for an opportunity. America is top 3. And then we land here and they call us African American, or we click Black in an application form, Black or African American.
You can thank Jesse Jackson for that sabotage bull crap.
Guess what? We're all of a sudden in one bucket. We're in the same bucket.
No. The form is in the same bucket, but your status and your reality and your existence is not in the same bucket as mine, bro. I can hear your accent. I know you're from Africa somewhere. Okay? I don't have that accent. So people know who is who. As soon as you open your mouth, they know you're not foundational.
As those who were brought here, like our own kins who were brought here 400 or 500 years ago. But all of a sudden, we're in the same bucket. So whatever they went through, whatever they paved, the hardships, in anything that we're trying to achieve, we're going to have those opportunities and those chances because of them.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean that I just have to be like, okay, cool. No. When you actually understand that, I feel like that even empowers you more to say, look at the odds.
Mhm.
Look at what,
he's smoking
they've
something.
been able to do. That even me now, I'm coming here and these opportunities are given. So it's not something that, it feels like I've taken from them or no. It's a respect acknowledgement. And I was like, dang, this is even more important for us now, for me to share what I know, my experiences being the motherland. How can we work together?
Yeah. No, that's
So that just sparked it for me. And I would say it was from that episode. I don't know which one it was.
yeah. I'd have to say for me it was the what is it, evolution of African stories in Hollywood. Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. I think the conversation around it was really dope, and just hearing people's perspectives also was very interesting. So, yeah, that's season 10.
Let us know what was
10.
your favorite episode, what conversation you liked we had, and you would like to hear us talk about.
And
Nah, we good. Your channel flopped, and that was the best thing that happened to you guys. You guys never got going.
if you don't know, episode 10 is usually the end of our seasons, so we will be going into a very short recess. As we know, we need to get back onto the content creation plane, but we have some big things coming. We cooking up
Nothing. Bush meat.
should we tell them what we whipping?
I mean, give them a quick, just a little
All right,
little taste.
low taste is we're working on a newsletter. So the goal with this newsletter is to, one, just bring to you all even more stories, even more just content, even more information, basically, where that newsletter serves as a
So the newsletter was a big surprise.
learning platform. The goal there is to just connect you to even more stories, more people who are just as passionate about edutaining you all on all things African, and just to grow the mission of the Jolemi Samadi, which is to edutain you on all things African, but also drive unity. So
Build the bridge.
Oh boy.
we're building a bridge, like Judena said, the 85 to Africa, and this is the foundation of it. So if you are interested in reading our newsletter, please drop your email down in the comments, and we'll go ahead and add you to the email list.
Probably not in the comments, but
Oh, not in the comments. Yeah, we'll provide a form for you to
Yeah, I
fill
figured
out
those-
and
I
drop
figured
your
those
email in
comments.
there. But yeah, big things coming. That's just one of the things
Yeah,
we're
be
working
lit in
on.
those comments.
There's a few more things. Super excited to share it with you all. But yeah, just stay alert. Stay
I'm good too.
on the lookout for the
I'm
boys.
super
I am
excited.
key Arab
And I
peace.
just, like I said, wanted to add, we're excited to
They're babbling about some fake unity and all type of goofy shit. I'll pass.
have the opportunity to get to just see this newsletter, because personally I would, if once a week or so I can get a newsletter and get to kind of learn
And
and
newsletter, that's the best I
understand
can come up
what's
with.
going on, get some information in things that are relevant to both us Africans living in the US or any Black person of the diaspora. Quick read, learn, see stories, what's going on. I think that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
And it
Like
would
boiled
just only
monkey
bring us
intestines.
more together. And we
Mushy
are
tethers,
seeing an
barbecue
overflow of
bush meat, baboon stew
wars,
with the
diaspora
side of
wars,
chip-
hot
chips.
picks,
Definitely,
podcast, this, that, blah,
stuff
blah,
that
blah.
doesn't
Everyone has
identify
everything.
you
Everyone
as
has
well.
something to say.
I love
But
that she-
sometimes it's just good to
that
read
she's
and hear
elsewhere,
stories
and that she's
and
everywhere.
let the reader actually make
Make an informed
an informed decision.
decision or inference.
Inference.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talking And I think we need to do a little bit more reading.
100%. Okay, so we gotta read a lot more. So that's what we're working on next, and it won't be gone long. Just a short recess.
We don't care.
No spiritual cleansing this time.
No spiritual cleansing because
we can't go home in the middle of the day.
We're
like
Amazon
this.
Prime this season, so
yeah.
Yes.
But I just want to thank you all for supporting the pod and the movement. 5 seasons now is a mad thing. You know, we've been steady at it. So if you're new,
all right, nobody's supporting your shit. All right, stop it. Anyway, speaking of support, y'all can support mine. The Cash App is right there. You go ahead and support the channel that way. You can. There's no need to super chat now because we're pretty much done with the live. I mean, you can, but we're done with the live. But yeah, the Cash App tag is there. The like button is there. The subscribe button is there, and the click the notification bell button is there. I will be live tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. Okay, between 11 and 12 p.m. Family, pull up. We got to do a part 3. This was actually part 2. I want you guys to hear these clowns right here. Okay. I thought I would have got to these guys, but I underestimated how long this video was. Okay. It felt like it was shorter. But yeah, so family, this one is done. So this one, and then your boy right here. This clown.
Thing.
All right.
Not a very productive, not a very accurate representation of what Black Americans think.
Okay, that guy. All right. So those two, family, I got hella content on this right here. Funny stuff. But those are the two that we're gonna view tomorrow. And we'll probably spend the whole day reviewing them too, because you see 137, almost an hour and a half here, and he has a whole 2 and almost a half himself. So it'd be interesting. But I could tell that these guys are gonna see a whole bunch of BS. So we got to cook on them tomorrow. Damn, computer screen freezing. So with that being said, family, I was trying to be out by 1 o'clock, but we're 103. That's good enough. I respect the family. I see you guys like to come on late. So I will be live 11 a.m., 12 p.m. tomorrow, and tomorrow I'm gonna go live late again because I see that this is the time where you guys, yeah, it seems like you like the late morning, what do you want to say, early mornings, late nights, but let's just say the 11:30, 12 a.m. It seems like people are up in at least Eastern time. All right. Anyway, family, we're out of here. 11 a.m., 12 p.m. I see you. If not, if you can only make late mornings, late nights, early mornings, then I see you guys 11:30 p.m. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notification bell, Cash App tag right there. Peace tomorrow. Love, lineage. We out of here.